Okay, this is just a quick demonstration video on how to set up a Lebowski controller with a Hyundai HSG inverter. This particular motor is fitted with a resolver to Hall converter. So first thing we need to do is get the motor configured to run sensorlessly. Now I'm going to issue a reset command, and that's done with an exclamation mark. What that does is clears the internal memory. Now we need to reset the controller at this point, and then we'll find that everything's been deleted out of the setup. So I'll just do that. Okay, it's back in setup mode, and then if we have a look at some of these settings, you see we've got nonsense in there. Okay, so we're at censored first, PWM parameters. I'm going to run this at 21 kilohertz. Dead time, it's got Mosfets, 600 nanoseconds. We're testing the duty cycle 50%. I've already done that, so I don't need to demonstrate that here. And then G autocomplete out of there. Current settings. I've got 200 amp current sensors. They've got a transfer function of 10 millivolts per amp, so set A at 10 millivolts. No, we're not going to run 1333.5 amps through the system. We're just doing this for demonstration purposes, so we'll just shove 100 amps in there. For the purposes of this demo, we'll let 50 amps. Regen, shove 20 amps in there, and again, autocomplete. Right, that's what we'll set up. Calibrate the primary throttle, yes. Okay, calibrate the regen throttle. Okay, apply no-wheels for the throttle. You can tune the curve, I'm not going to do that. Let's put a straight line in. For regeneration, we want negative. Use throttle 1, yes. Use throttle 2. G. Transmit throttle over CAN. No, we're not using CAN, so I'll switch that off. And we'll just test those throttles to make sure they're functioning properly. Here's the main throttle. And the regen throttle. It's all good. Go to the main menu. Electrical RPM. This is a 3-pole PM motor. I'm running it on 72 volts, so it's not going to be running too high. I'll just set that at 10. 12, won't go there anyway. Reverse 10 and 12. Regen ramp start. $100 and 1,000. Below 100 RPM, as I said, it's a 3-pole motor, 300 electricals, 100 mechanical. Drive back from drive 3 to drive 2. Hit at 500 and jump into drive 3 mode, do that at 1500. We don't want to use the accelerator limiter. Out of there. The battery. And battery current, battery voltage is 72 volts. Get out of that. Current sense calibration, restore calibration. Control loops. Let's auto-complete this. You might want to change item through G once it's censored, but as it stands that's perfect. Same deal here, just auto-complete these. These things are configured based on the earlier settings, so no need to muck about with those. Okay, now this motor's got a very high, let's auto-complete that to start with. This is a high inductance motor, just for testing purposes. It's going to work there on 16 amps. You can see we're something on 6 kilohertz, electrical RPM, sorry. Formally test. Motor's vibrating. Calculates the inductance. And from experience I need to increase this. Let's just whack on 300 for the time being. Down there. J can set up when I'm doing that. K recovery. Auto complete that. We're not configuring this motor to check whether it's spinning. So item M we're going to disable. All sensors. We'll complete that. We're not doing anything at the moment. We'll just delete any data that might be in there. We'll be attending to that shortly. I'll get out of here. Temperature sensors. I'm not using any. I would be if it was a production system. Out of there. Miscellaneous. Once again, autocomplete. Experience tells me that item wiggle range is best on these IPM motors at 60, and G that's best on 90 for auto start. Everything else can remain as it is. Right, online. We don't really want to use that, but I want to clear any junk out of it, so I'm going to say yes, and then I'm going to go autocomplete just to get rid of all those idiot numbers, and then I will set it back to no. Y chip status, let's just clear all that junk as well, so it's got sensible data in there. It probably doesn't affect anything, it's just a habit of mine. Right, save that setup. Now we need to do is reset the controller and see whether she spins. And it seems to spin up fine. Now we're going to configure the resolver to Hall converter. So put the system back into setup mode. Okay, we're back in setup mode now. We're going to go into the Hall menu. We're going to set C. Calibrate Hall mode. Yes. Leave everything else as it is. Change the mode to censored. and in here you need to make sure item D is enabled, otherwise the configuration cannot be saved. So we'll just save that and reset, and the system will bring the motor up to 5000 electrical RPM and calibrate the resolver to Hall converter. Now that's done. Now the system is now running in censored mode, which means full torque available from 0 RPM. Notice there's no wiggling at the start now. And it's that simple. Try that with the Sevcon.